Your living room should feel calm and inviting, not like a hallway obstacle course made of pillows, remotes, and random mail. Stick around because we're turning your space from cluttered to calm with a minimalist living room makeover that won't crash your budget. Hey everybody, welcome back to Thrifty Budgeting. Now if you've always wanted a clean, stylish, and functional living room without overspending, we've got your back. Because in today's video, we're going to be covering simple decor tips, smart storage ideas, and easy ways that you can create that peaceful space. So let's kick things off with the foundation. Here's the part that nobody really enjoys talking about: decluttering. I get it. It sounds like work, but clearing out a little extra stuff instantly makes your space feel calmer and surprisingly bigger. And don't worry, this isn't about tossing out everything that you own. It's more about letting your living room breathe so it feels welcoming again. You want to start with the spots that your eyes land on first. That's going to be things like your coffee tables, side tables, TV stands, and yep, that one chair that everybody uses as a drop zone. Now, when those surfaces are clear though, the whole room looks refreshed without doing anything major. Then just take a quick sweep and send anything that wandered in back to where it belongs, like cups, mail, shoes that have basically become roommates. Everything goes home so your living space can actually be used for living. And here's the cool part. Once you get the hang of it, decluttering doesn't feel so much like a chore. It feels like a tiny makeover every time. A few minutes here and there can totally reset the energy in your room and make it feel cozy, open, and way easier to relax in. Now, when your space has room to breathe again, that's when we move into functional furniture. So now that your space can breathe, let's talk about furniture, because in a minimalist living room, every piece should make life feel easier and not busier. And the best part, you don't need a bunch of fancy designer items to create a calm, stylish space. Start with what you actually use day to day. A comfortable sofa, a couple of chairs, a coffee table, and maybe one storage piece like that media console. That alone can make the whole room feel grounded without being crowded. But here's the real trick. Think about furniture that earns its keep. A coffee table with shelves gives you extra storage without adding more furniture. A sofa that's the right size keeps the room feeling open instead of swallowed. When each piece has a purpose, the room feels lighter and way more relaxing. And style counts too. Furniture that has simple shapes and clean lines helps the whole room feel calm, even before you add decor. Now, neutral colors, soft textures, and pieces that feel warm and inviting all help your living room become someplace you actually want to spend time in. So once your furniture is working with your space and not against it, that's when we get to have fun with color. So let's talk about that neutral color palette. So now that your furniture feels settled in, the next layer is going to be color. Neutral shades are the secret sauce here because they instantly calm the room and give everything a soft, welcoming feeling without trying too hard. Think soft whites, sandy tones, gentle grays, or natural wood shades. These colors sort of melt into the background, which opens up the room and makes everything feel a lot lighter and brighter. And the cool part, neutrals give you freedom because you don't have to worry about colors clashing or patterns competing for attention. Your base stays simple, so anything that you add later blends smoothly. But neutral definitely doesn't mean boring. This is where textures do the talking. Now hear me out. A knitted throw, a woven basket, or a soft rug adds warmth without making the room feel busy or cluttered. You can also sprinkle in small pops of color whenever a season inspires you. An autumn pillow or a piece of art becomes the star of the show because the room isn't really loud. Your neutrals are simply the comfortable background, letting everything else shine. And since your color palette sets the mood, the next step is adding just the right touches to bring that cozy feeling to life. So let's talk about intentional decor. Minimalism doesn't mean that your living room has to feel empty or cold. It just means that every piece that you bring in has a purpose, whether that purpose is functional, beautiful, or simply makes your home feel more you. Instead of filling every shelf or surface, choose a few standout pieces that really speak for the room. One framed art print, a couple of soft throw pillows, or a vase with greenery can bring a warmth and personality without making everything feel crowded. Now, plants are a great minimalist win too. They add life and texture while still keeping things calm and unfussy. And the best part is you don't need a jungle. Just a touch of nature goes a long way here. Think of decor as a seasoning that you would use for cooking, just enough to elevate everything else without overpowering it. The goal isn't to remove personality. It's to show off pieces that actually feel meaningful instead of letting clutter just take over. And once the room has that calm, cozy vibe, there's a game-changing trick that keeps it that way without constantly picking up. We're talking about smart storage. Look, even the most peaceful living room has real stuff. Remotes, chargers, blankets, game controllers that mysteriously travel around the house like they're sightseeing. All normal. The trick is giving those everyday things a home so they don't become a part of the decor. Start with storage pieces that look good but secretly work over time. Think about it. A storage ottoman can hide blankets in 2 seconds flat. A media console with doors keeps cords and electronics out of sight. And woven baskets, they're basically the minimalist superhero cape. Stylish on the outside, chaos catcher on the inside. And if you have open shelving, keep it simple. A few books, a candle with your favorite scent, and one decorative piece. Everything else can tuck behind closed doors. The goal isn't to hide your personality. It's to help hide the clutter that tries to steal that calm feeling you just created. And the awesome part is, once everything has a place, your living room almost cleans itself. Tidying becomes quick, smooth, and honestly kind of satisfying. That's the real magic of a minimalist living room. Less clutter, fewer chores, and a space that you can breathe in. And speaking of keeping things tidy, there's a tiny daily habit that keeps your living room looking freshly reset without actually doing a full clean every day. How? You'll want to combine these two rules. If you really want your minimalist living room to stay effortless, try pairing two tiny habits. First, do a quick 10-second reset each night. So what that looks like is fluffing a pillow, fold a throw, grab everything that just wandered in that day, and give your surface a quick glance. This step is small, but it keeps things feeling put together without a whole cleanup session. I don't know about you, that is a win in my book. And second, you want to follow a simple in and out rule. When something new that you bought comes into the room, let one old item head out. A book, a pillow, a decorative piece, whatever makes most sense to you. It keeps your space well balanced without ever feeling like you're suddenly having to declutter all over again. Put these habits together and your living room stays calm, collected, and clutter-free with almost zero effort. Minimalism doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to support your everyday life. And just like that, you've got a minimalist living room that feels more like a getaway and a lot less like a daily cleanup mission. Enjoy, and as always, stay thrifty.